Hi, my name is Darren Donohoe and welcome to my video lesson on how to play the beaded solo. So we're going to start off with the very first section, and it's done on the G to begin with, and it sounds like this. Okay, so what we're doing there is, it's all done on the G. We start off with our middle finger pulling the note off. We actually dip the note down in mid-air, so it's like this. So what we're actually doing there is getting our middle finger and pulling off like this. Hammering on then with our middle finger on the second fret of the G and bending up a whole tone. So slowly, this is what we're doing. Nice again, slow. We're then going from 2 to 7. Okay, the taps can be a little bit hit and miss, but if you're lucky you'll get them. So that section, nice and slow again. Okay, so I'm just going to recap there. You basically have the G, you basically pull the note off, and while you're pulling it off you dip the bar down. You hammer onto the note on the second fret, you bring it up, you actually bend it to the fret. You then slide from 2 to 7. You get a tap with your middle finger on the 14th fret. As I said, it can be a bit hit or miss, but you should be able to get it. The trick behind getting those harmonics there is to tap where you would imagine where the actual 14th fret there is. So, okay, so that's the very first section. Okay, now onto the second section. Okay, so now for this next section, it's a tapping section. There's a couple of notes that's out of key, so on its own it sounds a bit weird, but when you put it with the track it sounds great. So up to speed, this is what it is. Okay, so what we're doing there is a pattern that repeats on the E and the B, and the notes that you're playing with the left hand is 10, 12 and 14. With the right hand you're tapping two notes, which is here, 15th and 15th of the B. And the pattern, which is on the E, repeats on the B as well. So just keep that in mind, and it goes something like this. So what we're doing there is going then at the end, so nice and slow. So that's the second section. So basically what we're doing here is going the same idea on the E, going so that's going to be basically the first part of this section, which is even slower. Next bit, that's your heard there. Then, so basically, just to recap on that extra section there, you have the notes. If you want a bar, you can. Just make sure you don't go. Then you have So in the G, 14, pull off. You then have, so for that bit there, you are on the 15th fret, you bend from 15 to 7, you pull off. With your right hand you tap that note, you actually slide up with your right hand, with your middle finger if you can, and then you start doing a trill between the B on the 12 and the 15. So basically this is what we're doing. So we're nearly finished this section, there's only a few more notes, then it goes. And what you're doing there is, you're on the G going. You dive down, and then as you're diving down, you hammer on with your left hand with your third finger onto the 9th fret, and you bend from 9, 11. So. And using the bar. So I'm going to play that whole section, the third section, nice and slow, and then it's just a case of really putting it together. It's the longest and most difficult part of the whole song, but if you get it down, it'll sound great. So. Quicker. Okay, so now for the fourth section. The fourth section is actually fairly easy. You're on the B to begin with, and it's just kind of more of an effect than anything else. It's kind of unusual, but you're with your first and third fingers, you're on the notes 3 and 5 on the B, and what you're doing is you're pulling off to the open B and you're diving down. So it's kind of like this. Okay, so what you're doing there is you're hitting the note. And then before you hammer on back to the 5, which is, so basically the idea is that all you're doing is scooping just before you go to the back to the 5th fret here, which is the E note. So it's kind of then you can get a bit of a pinch harmonic there. That's the sort of idea behind it. So if you're going like. So now for the fifth section. For the fifth section, we're starting off in back to first position, and it kind of sounds a bit like this. So for that section there, you're going between G and E to begin with, so you're actually skipping a string and you're going. And then you bend. It's kind of real bluesy lick. The next thing to do then is you go from E to B, so slowly. Last bit is to do a small bend on the G, so nice and slowly. Then you have, which is E, and then on the G. So that fifth section again, nice and slow.